Houston, we have a problem.
Give me all you got!
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
Give me back my gun! I didn't kill my wife! I don't care!
Start with this prick right here.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Stand and Watch, the only dad movie podcast you're ever going to listen to because we killed all the others. We had to protect the hive.
We had to protect them. We had to fucking kill them.
Oh, hello, Steve Buscemi.
Steve and Standy's hello.
Oh, I am once again your host, Matt.
I'm your other host, Nick.
And today is a very happy episode because we're talking about The Beekeeper, the modern classic, The Beekeeper.
Oh, we're going to look back 20 years from now, and the only movies we're going to talk about are John Wick and The Beekeeper.
I'm telling I've watched this movie 3 times now. This is my 3rd time. And my first 2 times, I kind of logged, like a paragraph, or like a short paragraph, kind of real, kind of joke review on Letterboxd. But for this time, literally all I said was this will be known as one of the defining movies of the 2020s. And I stand by that, unironically.
It's really good. It's really stupid, but it's really good.
This is one of the best stupid movies I've seen in at least 15 years.
It's just, it commits to it. It commits to how stupid it is.
I saw this in theaters when it came out. I saw it on a Tuesday afternoon.
So jealous.
I was in there alone. There was maybe like 6 other people. And so much of this movie was like, and it's an action movie, and it plays, like, it knows how goofy it is, but it also plays most of it straight. And so I have vivid memories of seeing this in theaters, and just me and like 3 like middle-aged men giggling almost the whole time.
It might be my favorite movie we've watched on this show.
Really?
It might be.
Oh my God.
Just talking about it again makes me want to go watch it.
Okay.
Again.
Please introduce the movie for the listeners who have had the unfortunate circumstance of not having seen this. If you haven't seen this, pause this episode right now and go watch it and then come back.
Yeah, you really, like, every other episode you could listen to this podcast without seeing the movie and be fine. This is like the one time you need to see the fucking movie.
Yes.
To know that you may think like, oh, they're being funny, they're yucking it up. No, this is the fucking movie.
Yeah, like this is what the movies were made for.
What's the quote? This is a movie.
It feels like a movie.
The Beekeeper is a 2024 American action thriller film directed by David Ayer and written by Kurt Wimmer. Stars Jason Statham, Emmy Raver-Lapman, Josh Hutcherson, Bobby Nadiri, Felicia Rashad, Gemma Redgrave, and Jeremy Irons. The film follows a retired clandestine human intelligence operative who sets out for revenge after his kind-hearted landlady becomes the victim of a phishing scam that steals millions of dollars from a charity she runs. The Beekeeper was released in the U.S. by Amazon MGM Studios under Metro Goldwyn Mayer Pictures on January 12, 2024. Received mostly positive reviews and grossed $153 million worldwide against a $40 million budget. God damn. They made this for $40 million? They drove a man off a bridge with a truck.
Oh, that's such good dummy work.
Man, the
way he ragdolls. Oh, what a film. Okay, let's get our Letterboxd reviews out of the way so we can talk about this masterpiece.
Dude, I can't get 40. It only cost them $40 million to make this. How is this not? How are we already not watching Beekeeper 2?
Well, I mean, they made Beekeeper 2, and it's called A Working Man, and it's not a sequel, but it really is. Let's be honest.
What if it's a secret? What if it's a secret sequel like the that M. Night Shyamalan movie from a few years ago?
I mean, I don't know. He's listed as I guess it could be a new alias, a different character name. We'll see. I hope it's a sequel. I hope in my headcanon it's a sequel. I don't care.
I've got mine. Do you want me to read my review?
Yeah.
I hope I didn't take yours because I didn't post this one, but I have a review here from It's LV, who is a patron. Good job, sir, giving them their money because I'm not. He gave the movie 3.5 stars and he said, "Film of the year, you will come."
Did he spell it C-U-M?
Yes, he did.
Excellent. I have a review here from Cristiano Bertoni, who is not a patron or a pro member of Letterboxd. He gave us 3 stars and wrote, "Piece of art right here for sure."
Say that again?
Piece of art right here for sure.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for a B pun.
Oh no, just straight up piece of art for sure. And I agree.
A good ass. It's
What a picture. I wrote so many notes for this. I don't even know where to begin.
I have so many. I just anytime someone said anything or like something crazy happened, I just wrote it down. I was
Oh
like, I
my
can't.
God. Can we just go, we've never done this, but can we just go chronologically?
Through the movie?
Yes.
Yes. So the lion roars and the action it already takes off. So the beekeeper kills a nest full of hornets with like smoke. It's smoke, right?
Yeah, he smokes out this nest full of, he's a beekeeper. He's keeping bees. He smokes out this nest full of hornets, and he lives in a barn on this old lady's farm. And
That's it. That's the setup.
that's the setup. He lives on a barn in this old lady's farm, keeping his bees and whatever. And they're friendly, and she's nice to him and whatever. And then she goes onto her laptop, and a big pop-up comes up. "You have a virus. Call this number." And of course, she's a confused old lady, so she calls the number and is immediately met by the... And okay, I love how slimy all the tech douche scammers are in this movie.
They're so bad.
It's incredible. This whole operation, they're in this like neon lit, like fucking RGB lighting, like room filled with screens. He's in this douchebag like suit, and he's like instructing all these like people in the call center, like how you scam these people. Just like their fucking call center looks like a shitty tech bro like NASDAQ. So you're immediately like you immediately want all these people to die before the scam's even completed.
Right. You immediately hate these people. And I love how it's like dialed up to 10 on how ridiculous this call center is. Cause the real call centers are like just these drab, like gray rooms where everyone's fucking a miserable person and they're ripping these people off. No, this fucking dork after fucking dork and fucking flashing lights everywhere.
Bright screens, it's lit it's fucking lit like a Twitch streamer's like professional room.
You just want to kick everyone's teeth in, and automatically you're like, all right, when do we start killing these guys? But no, they hook, line, and sinker. They get the landlady.
Yeah, they get the lady, and it takes 20 minutes before anybody in this movie dies. Like before Jason Statham like goes for it. It's like a solid 20-minute setup.
Well, and so this lady loses about how much you think all the money she lost was about $5 million between the charity.
She lost $2 million from the charity she was running, and then all of her personal savings as well. So at least $3-4 million in total.
Which, and I'm not trying to this is not an IMDb goof, but like, lady, your charity's got insurance for stuff like this, I'm sure. Like, hey, you know what? Let's hang up the phone and let's make some phone calls and let's get this money back, right? That's what you think would happen, right, Matt?
Well, that's what would happen in real life or a sensible person or whatever. But no, this is a movie in which Jason Statham has to go after scammers in the most violent way possible. So she shoots herself.
Almost immediately.
Yeah, that's her very next... she sees that her bank accounts have been cleaned out. $0 everywhere. And the very next scene, which presumably takes place later that day, Jason Statham is going to her house to give her a jar of honey.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do. Nobody answers the door. All the lights are off. He goes in, right? The smoke detector's on. He turns it off. He grabs a knife because he thinks, oh, maybe something, maybe there's an intruder or whatever. Walks in on her. She's shot herself.
Didn't even call the police.
No, just
couldn't call the police.
Just didn't call anybody to say, oh no, I've been scammed. I just immediately was like, well, guess I'm gonna kill myself.
Which leads me to wonder, Is everyone being scammed in this universe automatically just like that's it? I'm done.
I don't know.
Like, is this?
It could just be this
I
lady.
think it is. I think it's happening.
I think it might just be this one lady because, as we know, Jason Statham in this movie is a beekeeper. And what that means is he was part of a secret CIA program called the Beekeepers. But after he retired, he decided to also become an actual beekeeper. And his whole life revolves around bees. And he speaks exclusively in bee-related metaphors. But none of the other beekeepers are like this. It's just him. So I think it's just this lady also.
Yeah, he really committed to the bee thing. He went all in.
Yeah, he went all in on being a beekeeper, and I love him for that.
It's like he finds peace in snuffing out the bad bees.
Yeah, and he's always talking about, well, you gotta smoke out the hornets to protect the hive. Like he's always saying shit like that.
Always the hive with him.
I love it. I love it. I love that. I love that when the lady's daughter, who's an FBI agent, shows up immediately when he's just discovered her body. She obviously thinks that he did it.
Right. Who wouldn't? Weird bald man walking in?
Yeah, right. Like that's a perfectly normal reaction, and then it turns out, oh no, he's telling the truth. He didn't do it. She killed herself, and he's just, was just living in the barn and just,
the other thing that blows my mind is we go from this to almost immediately Jason Statham going to the call center where this happens.
Yeah. Well, because he sits down with her. I love to like he gets back from being processed or whatever and released by the cops, and he goes back to the barn, and she comes in to apologize or whatever, and he's making his own orange juice.
It's a beekeeper, man. Of course he does.
Right? He's making his own orange juice. Which I don't know why that little detail I enjoy, but I enjoy that detail that he's just making his own orange juice standing up, just in his barn making his orange juice. And where does he sit down in this barn? He just stands up, drinks his glass.
There's no time to sit. You have to protect the hive.
Yeah, and then they sit down and they kind of have a heart to heart, but not really, because she's talking about her mother and he is just talking in bee metaphors. Right, that's his response to her. She's talking about her mother. I'm glad that she didn't really have anybody. She was alone on this farm. I'm glad that you gave her companionship or whatever. And he's just immediately in bee society they have this thing, and we got to protect the hive. That's his response.
At that point, she should have known right then and there that he was going to do something.
Yeah.
She should have just been I'm detaining you.
And she's she tells him, she tells him oh, she got scammed. And he's like, do you know who did it? He's like, no, but I'm going to find out. And then he immediately is like, well, I have to go. I got to tend to the bees. And then he immediately pulls out, because in one of his little honeycomb, bee things is a secret fucking satellite phone that contacts the beekeepers. And they're the lady on the other end is I thought you retired. Well, I need a favor.
I do love, at first I didn't like the secret society stuff because we don't need to do the secret society stuff. But it just really feeds into how stupid everything is.
Yeah, oh my God, it's incredible. And then he's like, I need you to find these people. Oh, that'll be easy. Well, not that easy. The entire FBI haven't been able to find these people for years. And then 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes later, she calls back. I found them.
He finds them almost immediately.
Yeah. So you're because I love this movie because the whole setup is, okay, these scammers scammed her, causing her to kill herself, and he's going to get revenge. And then almost immediately he finds the people who did it, grabs 2 cans of gas, drives to their building, and walks in, and the security guy's like, where do you think you're going, buddy? I'm going to burn this building to the ground.
Doesn't even try to Agent 47 his way in. He's like, no, I'm here to burn this bitch down.
Yeah, and the security guards are like, no, you're not going anywhere, buddy. And he's like, do you know who you work for? Do you know what they do? And he goes, I don't care, you're not going in. I'm going to count to 3. Was it 3 or was it a higher number?
It was 3. It was 3 because he says it, and then immediately Jason Statham's like, 1, 2, 3. There, I did it for you.
Yeah, and then he goes, 1, 2, 3. I did it for you, and then just bodies them.
Like it's so fast too because I blinked and I was like, "Oh, he took one guy out. Where's the other one?" No, he took them both out in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, just and then grabs his gas can and just walks in, and this just oblivious secretary. He's like, where? He asks her, where are these people? They're like, oh, they're up there. Okay, tell all the other companies in the building to leave. I'm gonna burn. There's gonna be a fire. And then he walks away.
And then he gets in there and he's like, it's just so nuts to see him in the exact spot where they just scammed this lady, not even 20 minutes later.
Yeah, because you're like, okay, again, because you assume, okay, he's good at this whole movie is going to be about him getting revenge and working his way to get to the people who scammed him. No, he's there immediately, standing in that building. And he makes
it's almost like he's like Michael Myers and he's got like those powers that just like zap him across the room or zap him into a new area.
And I love when he stands there in the room like with all these call center scammers and he tries to like announce like, everybody repeat after me. I will no longer scam the elderly, the weak, or whatever he's saying. And then nobody's listening to him. So he puts his gas cans down and beats the shit out of a guy with his phone.
That poor guy. Besides being a scammer, the only other thing he did wrong was sitting too close to Jason Statham.
And then everybody else immediately like shuts up what they're doing and like listens to exactly what he wants them to do, and it's incredible. And he starts pouring gas everywhere.
Oh, and we talked about it pre-show, but there's that one background actor yelling, "It's gas! It's gas! It's gas!"
Oh my god. Oh, and then the guy, like the main guy who scammed the old lady, like the one who was on the phone with her, like the guy who's the boss of this call center, shows up with security guards. Like, what do you think you're doing, buddy? I'm burning this building to the ground.
And he's played by Josh Hutcherson, by the way.
No. Wait,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're getting ahead of yourself. Josh Hutcherson is like this guy's boss. But this guy shows up with his security guards. Like, what do you think you're doing, buddy? I'm burning this place to the ground.
And then there's a fight. A few more security guys come in. Fucking Statham beats the shit out of each one of them.
Beats the shit out of like 6 or 7 security guards at once. And then
what does he do to explode? I forget what. Is there like a?
He hooks.
Does he set the gas tank down like near a bigger flame or something?
Well, he pours gas everywhere, and then he sets the gas can like down and attaches like a Semtex to it, and then hooks that up to like one of the phones. And he's like, the next time anyone calls this place, like any of your like future victims calls this number, this whole place is going up in like this whole place is blowing up. And then he just leaves.
And the guy in the center, by the way, that's David Witt's. The character's name is Mickey. But yeah, just a great little douchebag.
Oh, and then
the thing about him leaving that drives me like I fucking lost my mind because there's guys passed out in there.
Yeah, there's all the security guards he beat up and they're unconscious there, and he's like, you better take your men out of here because the next call that comes in, this place is blowing up. And then immediately it blows up and you're like, I guess all those guys are dead. I love it because you're like, oh well, he got his revenge, and there's still an hour and 20 minutes left.
Well, and the movie, even at that point, because then somebody calls Josh Hutcherson's character, who is Derek Danforth.
Yes, and oh my god,
reports the body count. Like, we lost 4 of our own, and you're like, from the bodyguards that didn't get out.
Yeah, like, oh my god, talk about ups. Josh Hutcherson is great in this movie.
Another great douchebag.
Him and his broccoli
he's doing
hair,
massages or something, right?
Yeah, him and his little broccoli hair. He's doing like, I don't know. He's doing like an amalgamation of so many like tech douches. He's doing like Logan Paul and Mark Zuckerberg and all these like fucking people that you just want to fucking blow up in a call center.
You just want to fucking punch his fucking face in. You want to tie him to a fucking truck and fucking drive him off a fucking bridge.
Oh, he's so incredible. It's just such an unlikable little shitbag that you're like, yes, I can't wait for. Because, like, the one guy, you're like, I can't wait for him to get his shit rocked. And then it happens almost immediately, like, oh, well, what now? He got his revenge. And then Josh Hutcherson appears, like, immediately to be like, oh, well, now I want this guy to die.
Well, and so Mickey is still in play at this point. So Mickey grabs Mickey, after the explosion, calling and telling Daddy, his boss Derek Danforth, everything, grabs some guys and they go to chase down the beekeeper, and they start fucking shooting beehives in the middle of the field.
They find him. Yeah, I love how they find him too. It's like, I don't like just like Josh Hutcherson's like, I don't know, you're a Connect guy. Get some people together and go find this dude. And so he's just like, okay, let's just go to like people like who are like affiliated with like our last few victims. And so they go to this farm and like, this lady lived alone on this farm. I don't think it's her. And then like they see Jason Statham's truck and they're like, didn't you say this guy had an old truck? And it's like, yeah, that's him. That's definitely him.
Really smart way to track him down. I will give the bad guys credit for being like, well, who'd we scam lately? What about that old lady on the farm? Well, couldn't hurt to look.
But yeah, he's like, he destroyed my shit. Let's destroy his. And then they shoot a bunch of the bees.
Fucking. It's like, what are you doing?
It's such a stupid, petty, dumb thing to do, but you're just like, oh, fuck these guys even more. They're shooting bees. We need bees.
He doesn't know you're there. Why are you giving away the element of surprise?
Yeah, but like he knows they're there.
He knows. He knew before they shot the bees.
He knew they were going to show up because like he's prepared. He goes into the barn, sets up like all the power tools, turns them all on, and hides. And then they go in there, and it's like 6 guys or whatever, and they all immediately get killed. And
yeah, so there are 3. So he has a chain hanging from the ceiling. So he wraps one around one guy's neck and throws him up in the air, and he fucking hangs him.
I love the one guy. He stuffs the guy's own shotgun in his mouth, and like his teeth pop out, and then he like fucking breaks his neck or something.
Yeah, and then there's another one where he
incredible.
takes his handgun apart and he stuffs a piece of the gun down the guy's throat and through the back of his neck.
Yeah.
And then he cuts Mickey's fingers off with a hacksaw or a buzzsaw.
I didn't even know what it was. It was like a power drill.
Yeah, it's one of those things you use to make like really precise cuts.
Yeah. Yeah, he just like, I love too, like I don't know what he thought he was going to do against the guy who just killed like 7 people in like the span of an hour.
That scene is fucking like, if you look at that scene from Mickey's perspective and see like just the bodies, the guy like, hanging, the 2 other bodies, it's like, oh my god.
That's probably what it feels like to be a teenager at Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah, you're like, holy fucking shit! Like, you guys need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but like I don't know, this fucking like tech douche who you're like, you hope gets what's coming to him, and then yeah, he cuts his fingers off, and then leaves, right? Burns the barn down or whatever. You're like, oh no, why would he let him get away? And I love it. He's on the phone with Josh Hutcherson, and this is so I love this scene. He's on the phone with him explaining what happened, and he's like, yeah, he got our guys, I'm bleeding pretty bad. He cut my fingers off. He's like, wait, he what? He cut him off, man. Right? And then in the middle of their conversation, you're like, wow, why? Just out of nowhere, Jason Statham just shows up and punches him through the window. And he's like, oh, and it's such a good shitbag reaction. Like he's so terrified.
I'm gonna be honest. I was foolish in this moment because I thought for sure. I was like, oh, you know what? He's gonna kidnap this guy. He's gonna use them to find the rest of them. And this character, might die eventually, but this character might have like a redemption. Was I fucking wrong or what?
No, he immediately ties him up to like, I don't know, like some kind of seatbelt or something. And the whole time this is happening, he's just got the most bewildered, confused, terrified look, like, what the fuck are you doing to me look on his face. And then he just launches him off a bridge.
Yeah, so he ties him to like a tethered thing that's on the back of a truck, sends the truck barreling down the bridge, and then the bridge is out at the end. Truck goes into the water, body fucking ricochets down with it.
It's just ragdolls down this bridge with this truck, and it's such a funny shot too, because it's a wide shot of it going down, and you're like, that's obviously a dummy. And God, we need more dummies in movies again because it's so good.
I'm surprised no one goofed on it and said, well, that that wasn't the guy that got pulled in. It was the guy's dummy.
He just flails in the air and ragdolls down with the truck, and it's incredible. And then Jason Statham picks up the phone, and I love while this is happening, Josh Hutcherson's on the other end going, "What's happening right now? Where
Are you okay? What's going on?"
And then Jason Statham picks up the phone, and it's like, "With who am I speaking with?" Josh Hutcherson's like, yeah, you know, the guy whose shit, like, you destroyed or whatever. And he's like, you sound young. You don't sound like you have estate planning. Why the fuck would I need estate planning? I'm going to show you.
Fucking amazing. As soon as he said that, I rewound it to before he beat up Mickey and tied him up and just rewatched that whole bridge scene.
It's incredible.
This is so fucking good.
It's fucking incredible. I wrote this in my notes because I loved it so much. When he's tying him up, he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's trying to beg for his life. One of the things he says to bargain for his life is, "I got an NFT." I wrote that down specifically. I have to mention that because it's so good. He's like, "What are you doing?" "No, I got an NFT."
And then he did a reenactment of basically what NFTs did.
I love this movie so much. Should we talk about what we didn't like so we can then spend the rest of the episode talking about what we did?
Again, I can't believe they made this movie for just $40 million. Like, I look at that, I look at that bridge scene alone and think, like, wow, that had to be really expensive.
Okay, let's quickly go on to our dislikes so we can continue gushing about this movie in chronological detail.
Derek Danforth's buddy, who is that? The old guy who's kind of like pulling the strings and kind of makes him aware of the beehive.
Jeremy Irons.
I didn't need Jeremy Irons like being all knowledgeable about it. I did like that he was like, "Oh, we got some people." I liked that side of it, but I didn't need. It just feels like Jeremy Irons is there to do exposition.
Yeah. I didn't mind him. Yeah, I didn't mind him as like the security chief of this guy trying to protect him or whatever. I mean, I kind of like the idea that he knows what the beekeepers are, so he knows how fucked this guy is, and he's just really annoyed that he has to try and keep him alive. I kind of like that, but what I really didn't like about Jeremy Irons in this movie is that, what the hell's that accent, man? Like, Jeremy Irons is British. And in this movie, he's doing an American accent that is somehow both Southern and British at the same time, while also being neither.
I feel like I'm watching The Walking Dead again.
It's just one of those. It's one of those accents where you're like, yeah, that's an American accent from nowhere in particular.
My other thing is that it kind of feels like the film runs out of things for Emmy and her other FBI buddy to do.
Yeah, I did like them.
I mean, I do like them,
yeah,
and I do
fun.
like the banter about guns, but it kind of leads to nowhere for him. Like Emmy's Verona's kind of left like wondering about who she serves and like the concept of like a hive. But again, I also didn't need that. I didn't need that in this stupid ass goofy movie.
Yeah. I don't know why Minnie Driver's in this movie. Like, if you're gonna have Minnie Driver in your movie, give her something to do. She has like essentially one scene in this movie, and all she does in it is talk on the phone to Jeremy Irons. Like, I don't know. You don't need that. You don't need that character. You don't need that to be Minnie Driver. Because when Minnie Driver pops up in a movie, I'm like, oh, she's gonna be a character with something interesting to do. It's like, no, she just talks on the phone and she's gone forever. Like, that's worthless. My biggest gripe with this movie is I think, as great as it is to see Jason Statham beat the shit out of everybody like he's Michael Myers, and I do think, and this is stupid because apparently this is, I don't know if you know this inside lingo, but he has it in like his contracts that he can only take a certain amount of hits in his movies.
Like he can only be hit so many times.
Yes, like it's in his contracts.
Is that to like keep him? You know what? I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it, but I do feel like some of the fights, especially like, because there's a couple of like main henchmen in this that he fights, and I'm like, if you're gonna have main henchmen, like I don't know, like they should get a couple of hits on him instead of just being completely, because like I don't know, like if the main henchmen are taken down as easily as the nameless henchmen, what's the point, right? And I don't know, like I watched Sudden Death
like the day before I rewatched this, and like Jean-Claude Van Damme like gets his shit rocked a couple times in that movie, and I don't know, it makes it makes action movies a little bit better when you're at least like, oh well, there's at least someone who like puts up a fight against them.
I mean, I bet Arnold and Sly probably had something similar back in the '80s, where they're like, I can only get hit. I can't do my Arnie right now; it's too late. But I can only get hit like 3 times in this movie. So you better make them count. And I think Statham does get hit, especially in that fight with the South African.
The South African guy, and that's the best fight in the movie too, because like again, it's like that's the best fight because like, oh, like this guy's like, I mean, he stands 0 chance, but you're like, oh, he's getting his, he at least has some moves to give, and it's not just what. And I don't know, Stallone probably did have that. I don't think Arnie did. Arnie was.
There were moments where I thought I'm gonna call him mini boss, but like Michael Epp, who's like the leader of the Black Ops outfit in the middle of the movie, I thought he was gonna put up more of a fight, but then he just gets kind of thrown down an elevator shaft.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I'm like, and again, I love just watching Jason Statham destroy people, like no fight given. But if you're gonna have like again, if you're gonna have like various mini bosses, let's say like main henchmen that have a face to them, they should, if you're gonna have that, you can only take this amount of hits in the movie. Maybe space them out better, I guess, or maybe increase it from like 3 times to 8 times. So. Because that last fight is really good because that South African guy puts up a little bit of a fight, and like
it's a really interesting set they do it on too.
Yeah, right. But then like the fight with like the other beekeeper is just like like she doesn't really get anything on him, and like you said, like the fight with like the main security chief guy, he just throws him down an elevator shaft, and it's like those would have been better if it's like, oh, now like at least there's somebody who can kind of like get a hit on him, but like. No, they're just destroyed, just like every other nameless goon.
I completely forgot about the other beekeeper. It's kind of like it's a fun scene, but it's just kind of forgettable. And it also makes me think like, man, the beekeepers have really gotten messy since Clay retired.
What I love about that scene is that I love that because the movie. Like it's set up as like one of these like revenge action movies, and then he kind of gets his revenge immediately. So you're like, oh, what kind of movie is this going to be now? And so then it's like, then it kind of sets up, oh, they're going to send the new beekeeper after him. So now they're doing a Jason Bourne plot where the shady government agency is sending the new assassin against like the old one that they have a problem with. But then he just immediately like destroys her and kills her, and then the beekeepers are like, "Yeah, we're gonna stay out of this.
Yeah, we're done. We're done."
Yeah,
it kind of felt like the first 30 minutes are John Wick 1, and then that little section of the movie, you're like, "Oh, they're doing John Wick 3 now," and then they're like, "Nope, actually, we're going back to John Wick 1."
I love it. I love that they're like, "Okay, here." It's a revenge movie. Now we're setting up it's going to be a Bourne movie. Nope, suckers, it's not a Bourne movie because he just destroyed her. Now it's just going to be this whole other thing.
And this movie reminded me we do need mini bosses back in these action movies. We do need our named henchmen. They're fun. They raise the stakes instead of just being a body that like gets completely destroyed right away.
Yeah. Like you need to have your common in John Wick 2.
We need our psycho mantises. We need our revolver ocelots. Like, come on, that's it. Yep. That's all I've got to say on the negative side.
Yeah, I'm not even talking negatives anymore. I'm back to positives. I love that he kills the beekeeper immediately. I do think I love how ridiculous she is too. Like she's all decked out in neon and like she's got a minigun. She's so unsubtle about it.
Yeah, and she's like. And there's that one guy at the gas station. She looks at him, but doesn't like really do it. Like she's there for Clay. Yeah, it's just that whole fight. It's just so ridiculous.
I love how he wins by throwing a jar of honey at her head.
Yep.
And lights her on fire. Incredible stuff.
Bad bees got to learn, man. Bad bees got to learn.
Yeah, and I love just the immediate next scene is like Minnie Driver calling Jeremy Irons back. Yeah, he killed the other beekeeper, and they've decided that they're gonna stay out of this. Like it's so good, and you're like, oh, so it's like first you're like, oh, it's a revenge movie. Oh, he got his revenge already. Now what's it gonna be? Oh, it's gonna be like a Bourne like a cheesy B movie Bourne ripoff. Oh no, it's not, because he killed her and they've given up. And then it's like, so what the hell's it gonna be? And then it escalates to the most ludicrous proportions imaginable.
Jesus Christ. Where'd the funding come? Danforth, what's their money in?
He goes up the chain because he's decided my revenge isn't complete until I'm not just taking down the call center that scammed this lady. I'm taking down the whole operation to the very top of the chain. And where is the top of that chain, you ask? Well, Josh Hutcherson, turns out he is the son of the President of the United States of America.
Jesus Christ. As soon as I realized what they're doing, I held my head in my hands. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, and
What the fuck?
and Jason Statham as a beekeeper, it's his job to protect the hive. And the queen,
Gotta protect the queen.
It turns out the queen bee has a defective offspring, and so he's going to become a queen killer.
And so this whole time you have Verona and the FBI, I think Matt's the other one, on like always one step behind Statham. They know who their man is. This whole time they know who it is. And they're always one step behind him.
I love the scene where they're briefing like the director of the FBI, and she says that we believe our suspect is a former member of a secret branch of the CIA known as the Beekeepers, and he has like this immediate like worried glance.
Yes,
Like-
yes, he's like, who else knows about this?
Like just the look on his face, it's like a 1 second glance, but it's like it's like the most terrified this man's ever been. Like, oh, like what the fuck did she just say? And then she's like, and then he immediately is like, let's change the subject. Let's talk about what we know for sure.
Let's talk known knowns.
Yeah.
He was so convincing that I was like, for the next 30 minutes I was waiting for an FBI heel turn to like sprout out. I was like, okay, it's gonna happen now. But the movie was very disciplined. It's like, nope, no heel turns. You know who the bad guys are. They focused, you idiot.
I love when the FBI is gonna like raid like the other call center, like the main call center. And they go in, and the private security guys are like, get the fuck out. You don't have jurisdiction here. And they're like, okay, we're leaving. Let's set up a perimeter. And then Jason Statham walks up to them when they're like setting it up, and he goes, and he's like telling me, yeah, there's no back entrance or anything. It's like, sir, this is a cordoned off area. You need to leave. And he just doesn't. And he continues like, yeah, if there was a back entrance, I wouldn't be here right now. He's like, oh, who are you? And then he beats the shit out of all of them.
And then, so the private to go back to the private security, they go up to the call center to protect the scummy fucking scammers who like. It's even more twitchy in this room because there's like you see like the cameras of the old people they're scamming, and they put the money up of how much they've stolen from that person.
I love this like guy.
It's 9,000.
I love the guy in this one, the head of this operation, right? He's got this. You know, he's this greasy Italian guy, slick back hair. He's got a suit that has the word goat written a bunch of times.
I hate it.
Right? Oh my god. He's got like a game show host microphone.
It's so scummy. But so the private security gets up there, and these guys are like, they're immediately fighting with private security who's there to fucking like get them out and protect them.
Yeah, but he's like, no, nobody leaves here because this is where the money is. We're not leaving, right? And then they call Josh Hutcherson, and he's like, listen, Jeremy Irons hired you, and he works for me, so you work for me, and nobody's leaving that building.
Yeah, I love the mass confusion and the miscommunication between everybody. And I don't remember if it's the guy with the microphone or like one of the background actors, but one of them turns to Michael Epp and says, "Shouldn't you be killing Bin Laden or something?"
It's the microphone guy.
It's the craziest thing to fucking say because the movie is set in 2024. Bin Laden's been dead for almost 15 years.
Well, he says that back to him. He says, he says Bin Laden's been dead for quite a while. Oh, and I love too, like, while this mass confusion is happening, Statham gets in and he's just there right away.
He's standing there.
He's just standing there like he's there. He's standing amongst this call center scammers.
The guy who wrote this, what's this man's name? This is Kurt Wimmer. This guy played Hitman and then wrote this movie.
I don't know who this guy is. I don't know what else he's done, but I love him.
I can see it written on the page. Amongst the confusion, we turn the camera to see it. Jason Statham's already there.
And I love to. I like what's the guy? What's his name? Mike.
Michael, the Black Ops guy.
Yeah.
His name's Pettis. The actor's name is Michael Epp.
Okay,
which I thought was Mike Epps. Very confusing for me at first.
Yeah. Okay.
Turned this movie on.
So
like, when's Mike Epps? When's Mike Epps pop up in this? And he never did.
So Pettis is like to Jason Statham. I don't want any. We don't need any innocents to get hurt here. And Jason Statham's like, if you knew what they did here, you knew they aren't innocent. There's nobody innocent here.
And so then Statham like grabs one of them and is using him as a human shield.
Am I remembering this incorrectly? Doesn't he throw one of them like across the computers?
Yeah. So he grabs the guy, and then Pettis says something along that line. So like, we don't want anyone to get hurt. And then Statham says, "Let's start with this prick," and then he throws him.
Yeah,
the guy that he had.
And doesn't he throw? He throws him like through the computers.
Through the computers into like a support beam in the room, like a wall.
Oh my god, I love when it's like all over, and he goes back in the room to question the guy. He's just like tapping a stapler into his head.
And then I lost Pettis in the middle of this fight. He is one of the guys that gets thrown down the elevator shaft, right? Because all these Black Op guys have like they're tethered together, I guess, because they.
I don't think he's one of the ones who gets thrown down the elevator shaft, because he has a one-on-one fight with him. I think he just beats him up with I think he just knocks his face in with a fire extinguisher.
Gotcha. Because it's so quick. It's so fucking quick.
It is. It's quicker than you would expect like one of these like mini bosses to be.
Yeah, you're expecting him to like put up a fight. But again, Jeremy Irons says it in a scene earlier. It's like, you guys are this, you guys are that, you guys are Marines, but you are pussies compared to this man.
Oh, I love too whenever he walks into a place like, who the fuck are you? And he's like, instead of like, he doesn't explain anything. He's just like, when something attacks the hive, you got to smoke them out.
He's so one track. He's one track mind.
Yeah. Just all he talks about is bees. It's like, who the fuck are you? I'm a beekeeper. I protect the hive. Sometimes I use fire to smoke out hornets. That's a direct quote. I'm on the IMDb quotes page right now. Oh, I fucking love this movie.
It's a good movie. Did I write anything else he said in that moment? I didn't, but it's just Oh,
I love it escalates. He's gonna kill, and he goes after the son of the president of the United States. I love how he fucking like infiltrates like this private island owned by the president, like her beach house property. Just swims up to it.
He swims up. I mean, he's talented. He's obviously, in between all that beekeeping, he's swimming laps around fucking Massachusetts. And he infiltrates by getting under a truck and getting within the truck's framing.
I love the shot because they're checking under all the vehicles. I love the shot of the one guy who goes under the truck he's under, and it cuts to Statham and then cuts back to the guy's face. Yeah. And then he just pulls him up, and presumably he pulls him up into that little crevice he's holding onto, beats the shit out of him in that small area, and then changes clothes with him, and then stashes him there.
And yeah, stuffs him back up in the crevice.
Like, that's how good he is. Oh, incredible stuff. And I love that at the end, like, they've just hired like fucking private mercenaries on the president's like property.
And they're throwing a party the same fucking day. It's the weirdest fucking thing.
Oh my god, yeah. And so there's just like private mercs like at this party, like walking around with guns. And yeah, I love the main one there. He's got the most over the top South African accent you've ever heard, and also sometimes he's Scottish.
He looks like a fucking Call of Duty Black Ops skin.
he fucking looks like a Ubisoft X Defiant skin.
Yes. He just like you put him. He looks like a fucking Rainbow Six Siege operator.
Bleach blonde hair, mutton chops, bright yellow coat. He looks like a cyberpunk extra.
And he's doing a really good job of just chewing up the scenery any scenes he's in.
Oh, I
'Cause
love
he's
this
just
guy. I love him.
one of the first lines, he's like, "I've killed a beekeeper, you know?" And
Yeah.
like he's like, and then he shows like his fake leg.
Yeah.
All it cost me was my leg.
I love what ends up ending the fight with him and Statham is Statham kicks his leg off and he can't recover from that.
Does he beat him with it? Does he pick up the leg and beat him with it? I don't remember.
No, he has brass knucks.
That's right. He takes the brass knuckles, which also, by the way, looks like a honeycomb. He takes it. He says, "Thanks for that," and then
And-
proceeds to beat his face in with it.
Yeah. Not like, and that's after he's already like won the knife fight and slashes him and stabs him like a dozen times, and then he's still alive, so he beats the shit out of him with the brass knucks.
And it's brutal. They're doing this in a hall of mirrors, and so
Yeah.
there's broken glass everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's just a claustrophobic scene as they're like going back and forth between these walls, and then the stabbing starts.
And I love too. This is happening after Statham has already previously shot this guy through the cheek.
That's right.
Because yeah, they catch him like at the party, and like they have him on his knees, and he's about to execute him in front of everybody, and he's like, "To be or not to be, isn't that the bloody question?" And Jason Statham's like, "I choose to be," and then he blows something up. Blows up one of the Secret Service cars in the distance, and then
It's
just
probably the truck he stuffed that guy under.
yeah, and then that causes a distraction, which lets him take the guy's gun and shoot him in the face. And you're like, "Oh, I thought that guy would last longer," and it turns out he survived.
Yeah, and then he comes back for more. And then in the middle of all this, we find out that the president's whole election was paid for by this money that is being stolen by her son by scamming the elderly.
Yeah, that she didn't know about. So she's like, and so so her and Derek, Josh Hutcherson, are like in their, I guess, like their last refuge, and they're like, and she's like, I gotta tell people the truth. You know, the people have to know that man who's coming for us because of what you did. He's, you know. And so he like flies off the handle. He grabs a gun and shoots the director of the FBI.
Dead to rights.
Just incredible stuff.
I didn't think he had it in him, honestly.
Oh, oh fuck! And then the last thing he does is he takes his mom hostage, and he's like he's going to shoot her at the end. Like that's what his last thing is gonna be. And then Statham shoots him in the head before he can, and then just jumps out the window to his escape.
And gets in the. Did we really just go through this whole movie? Holy shit!
Oh, I fucking love this movie. This movie's incredible.
So I love that he shoots Hutcherson in the head, and then Jessica Danforth, the president, immediately screamed, like, "I get it, that's your son, but he was gonna shoot you in the head."
He was literally about to shoot you. His last words were "Sorry, mom," or something.
Dude,
like he was gonna do it.
I did feel like her performance was a little all over the place, but again, in this movie, it's okay.
Oh, this movie's so great. I love how at the beginning, after he finds out the old lady was scammed, he's like, scamming the elderly is just as bad as stealing from the elderly is just as bad as stealing from a child, maybe even worse.
I do love that before he jumped out of the window of the, they're in the Oval Office, right? Or
no,
no, they're not in the White House. That's right. They're at their private estate.
Yeah. That they're like beach
I kept
estate.
thinking, for some reason, I think the president can only be in the White House. I don't know why. That's just my brain always like, they can only be in the White House. If they're in any other house, it's a betrayal to the White House.
Well, for the next 4 years, they can only be at a golf course.
Correct. Let's start racking up that bill. But no, like before he jumps out the window, he turns to them. He's like, "Who do you serve the hive?" And then he jumps out the window, and then he's got scuba gear stowed away on the beach, and he just scubas back out.
And then the movie ends. It just ends there. I love it.
They're gonna do another one, right? I hope so.
I hope so. Well, okay, the Statham movie that's coming out this year, where he's the construction worker guy, is also by David Ayer. So I hope they make a Beekeeper too, because they clearly got something going on now, right? Like that's a partnership.
They know what they're doing.
They seem to work well together. They seem to like each other. 2 movies, 2 years in a row. They have a movie together. So I think they're going to do a second one. Before we rate this, I am on the IMDb quotes page, and I just want to read off some exact quotes from this movie. Okay?
Do it. I love
All
it.
right. So here we go. Agent Verona Parker. I believe you, but there are laws for that. Adam Clay. Oh, yeah, by the way, Jason Statham's character in this is Adam Clay. That's his name.
It pisses me off every time, but you know what? It fucking works.
All right. Verona Parker. I believe you, but there are laws for that. Adam Clay. There are laws for that until they fail. Then they've got me. Oh, here we go. We said this one already, but I'm saying it again. Lewis. Buddy, I'm counting to 3. Adam Clay. 1, 2, 3. There, I did it for you.
Fucking badass.
Adam Clay, I was bringing her a jar of honey. Agent Verona Parker, who are you, Winnie the Pooh?
I forgot about that.
To be or not to be, isn't that the bloody question? I think I'll take to be. Here we
I
go.
just think that's the one where I'm like, you should have just said buzz off.
Oh, here, Adam Clay, I know you're the middleman. Who's above you? This is the sleazy Italian guy's name. Rico Anzalone. No, they'll kill me. Adam Clay, I'll torture you, then kill you. Fucking incredible.
Pettis, when after Irons is explaining the beekeepers to him, he's like, "Can't you tell this Yahoo to stand the fuck down?" in his like ridiculous accent.
Okay, I'm not gonna read this whole exchange, but so when Verona is explaining that her mom got scammed and Adam Clay's like, taken from the elderly is as bad as stealing from a child, this is what he says. He goes, maybe worse. Someone hurts a child, there are parents, people who care, ready to step in. Someone hurts an older person, sometimes they're left to face the hornets alone.
God damn it. He's got a point, but god damn it.
Yeah, and then he gets up to leave and goes, I need to take care of the hive. And she goes, you've been up all night. The hive is more important.
I forgot at one point after he killed that other bee agent, he cut off her finger to use to like get into like her like armory. I believe that finger was in a cup holder at one point.
Well, he put it in like a bag, an empty bag of chips.
Yeah, that too.
Oh. Adam Clay, I'm a beekeeper. I protect the hive. Sometimes I use fire to smoke out hornets.
I still go back to shouldn't you be killing Bin Laden?
Here we go. Derek Danforth. You're scared? Jeremy Irons. His name is Wallace Westwild. Dead right, I'm scared. Terrified. So should you be. Wallace, just tell me what the fuck this guy is. He's probably the last pair of eyes that you're gonna sneer at. Adam, here. Oh, go ahead.
The final fight with the South African, as the South African is like losing and realizing thinks he's about to like turn it around and win. He's like, "You're just a man." And Adam Clay says, "I know," before proceeding to win the fight.
Adam Clay, I don't know when he says it, but nobody's untouchable. Sometimes when the hive's out of balance, you have to replace the queen.
There was a moment where I thought she was going to have a heel turn. I was waiting for it.
I thought he might kill her too, just because.
Hey, she's gone. It's gas. It's gas. It's gas.
Oh, here we go. We talked about this earlier, but I'm going to read this whole exchange. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with? Fuck you, that's who. You burned down my multi-million-dollar fucking call center. Now I'm going to burn you down. You haven't told me your name. I told you my name. It's fuck you. Mr. Fuck you. You better fucking remember it because you don't burn me down. I burn you down. You understand me? You are fucking with forces that you cannot comprehend. You sound young. I bet you don't have estate planning. I'm fucking 28 years old. Why would I need that? I'm about to show you. I love this movie. I love this movie so much.
Here's an exchange I forgot about between director Janet Hayward and Wallace Westwild. The current active beekeeper is aware of the issue and is going to be taking care of things from here. You can rest easy, old friend. And Wallace says, "Oh no, Janet, the current active beekeeper is a fucking lunatic who should have been removed months ago. God help us now."
And then she immediately dies.
And she's very much a lunatic.
Okay, here we go. This also happens early. Verona Parker goes, I wanted to thank you for taking care of my mom. I tried to stay in her life as much as I could. Obviously, I could have done a better job. Adam goes, being old can be a lonely thing. Turn a certain age, you cease to exist, cease to matter, used to be a part of life, of the family, part of the hive, I guess you could say.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh,
I forgot about Lazarus saying armed. As long as this motherfucker's breathing, he's armed. What are you doing? He's not even armed. Oh yeah, that's when he's about to execute him.
I like. I don't know when. I don't remember when he says this, but just one of the quotes here is, "You're goddamn right. I'm a problem."
The hive is more important.
I love when he's explaining to Derek what happened, and he's like, "What does this guy look like?" Mickey says, "I don't know. He had a hat."
Oh, poor Mickey. Oh, fuck Mickey, but also poor Mickey.
Oh, I love this movie. You know what? The first couple times I saw this, I gave it a 3.5. I gave this a 4 when I watched it for this on Letterboxd. But the more I'm talking about this, I might agree with you. I might give it a 4.5.
Yeah, I was surprised when you reached out and you're like, wow, you gave this a 4.5. I was like, yeah, dude, I fucking did.
This movie, you know what? Yeah, I'm giving it a 4.5. This movie fucking rules.
Yeah, it's still a 4.5 for me. And you know what? I bet you would creep up to a 5 the second time.
I think if this is one of those movies, I think that if this is ever on TV, I'm stopping what I'm doing to watch it.
Yeah, 100%. As soon as I see a bee or I see Statham shooting somebody or something set on fire or just someone saying like the cheesiest but hardest hitting fucking line, I'm sitting down.
God.
I think this is 100
yeah.
100% a dad movie.
Yeah, 100. This is it. 4.5 from both of us and 100. This is one of the highest rated movies from us we've done.
Do we want to get back to a little bit of negative real quick and do our negative Nancy's?
I do. Before we do, I'm trying to think. Were there any other movies we've done that were like 100% and we rated them highly?
Collateral?
Did we give Collateral 100%?
I think so. Collateral was the only one I can think of that was for sure 100%.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I know. Did we give Crimson Tide 100%?
It was close. I think we might have given it a little less. We should really get an Excel sheet going.
We should. Yeah, I don't think we gave Burn After Reading 100%. The only other one I can think of that we might have given 100 is
those three we met. The Crimson
Breakdown?
Tide.
Did we give Breakdown 100?
Those 4 that you mentioned are probably the closest to 100.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The Beekeeper has joined an esteemed list.
It's already a classic.
Yeah. But yes, it's time to get a little bit negative with our negative Nancy's. I could talk about this movie for hours, but
you go ahead and do yours. Go ahead and do yours first. I don't think I've fully picked one yet.
All right. Parker states to Wiley that the minigun fires at 6,000 rounds a minute. That is false. The minigun fires at either 2,000 rounds or 4,000 rounds a minute, which is user selected on the firing controls. Hey, buddy, have you ever thought that maybe the Beekeepers have a special one that does 6,000 rounds?
Oh, I'm trying to. I had one and I lost it when I switched over. Here we go. U.S. presidents do not have private security around them at all times. They are protected by the United States Secret Service, which is a federal agency under the Department of Homeland Security. Shut the fuck up. They've got someone who is armed around them constantly. Private security, federal agency, doesn't matter.
Dad joke time?
Hold on. There's one more I want to read just because of the ridiculous. In the scene where the goons throw the honey, it is visible that the jars contain water-like liquid because of the viscosity shown.
Shut
up.
Buddy. Yeah, shut up.
What are you, a beekeeper? Shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry, if you're of all the movies to be pedantic about, really, you're gonna be pedantic about The Beekeeper starring Jason Statham?
Go outside, touch grass, maybe get stung by some wasp.
Yeah.
I've got a good dad joke. Are you ready?
Go for it.
Just be good people. Be good to one another. Be better.
Be best.
Be the best that you can be. That's it. That's all I got.
All right. You know, I bought a dozen bees from a beekeeper, but he gave me 13, said it was a freebie.
Boo. 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 Hey, what kind of milk does a bee like? Or where does a bee get its milk?
Where?
A boo bee. I'm here all day. What a good ass motherfucking movie.
Oh, this this movie, I don't know if they. I guess it's an Amazon movie, so it's never going to become a TNT classic, but it should be.
Put it in the Criterion Collection.
I'm not even kidding. Put it in the Criterion Collection.
It belongs in the Criterion Collection.
I
If
posted
Matt
that.
ever finds himself in the closet, that's the first movie he's gonna pick up.
I posted that as soon as the credits rolled on this movie. I posted on Blue Sky. Put this in the Criterion Collection.
I think the Oscars need to extend Best Picture to 11 films so they can nominate The Beekeeper 11 times.
Listen, the most liked post on our Blue Sky account is when I posted that the AFI has announced their top 10 movies of 2024, and I just listed The Beekeeper 10 times, and there's a reason that's our most liked post.
A good fucking movie, dude.
Oh, goddamn. This movie's so good.
I'm gonna watch it again.
I can't wait to watch it again.
Somehow, you know what? I feel like we're gonna get to the end of the Son of the Wheel when we do our rankings. You know, I don't see anything beating this at number 1, so it's really gonna be a dogfight for number 2.
Oh my god, I'm so excited for Jason Statham's newest movie. Comes out, I think March. This episode might be out by then, but
If it's time, like how cool would it be if it's timed with that release?
I don't know. When does this come out? It's called A Working Man.
A working man.
Because that's what he is in the movie. He's a working man.
It worked hard. It comes out March 28th.
March 28th.
And it's based on a novel.
This episode will come out. No, this episode will come out before then.
Well, no matter what, hey, if you're listening to this, on March 28th, you should go see A Working Man, because if the studios see that David Ayer and Jason Statham are a duo to be reckoned with, they're going to be like, all right, Beekeeper 2, here you go. I also
just want to give a quick shout out to the poster of this movie.
The hammer and the gun and the shotgun.
No.
The Beekeeper.
Yeah, the Beekeeper. Because it's just Jason Statham dissolving into bees.
It's pretty good.
That's a cool poster. And in a world where most movie posters these days are just floating heads, I really appreciate that they were like, no, let's make a cool poster where Jason Statham dissolves into bees.
It's pretty fucking cool. Yeah, in a world where it's heads and where you can't turn your head without seeing some AI bullshit. This is nice.
Yeah. Anyway, you know what time it is now?
We spinning that wheel. Spin that wheel.
We're spinning that wheel. Would you like to see it?
Fucking hell, I would love to see the wheel.
Here we go. Share my screen.
You know how fun Beekeeper is?
It's really
is
fun.
2:30. It is 2:30. It is 2:30 where you're at, and I don't hear any sleepies in your voice.
Listen. Little inside lingo. Should I reveal? I'm gonna reveal just for this.
Yeah, reveal it.
We recorded 2 episodes in a row for this. We recorded our Licorice Pizza episode right before we recorded this one, and at the end of our Licorice Pizza recording, I was ready to fall asleep. Only thing that kept me
wide awake.
Only thing that kept me going was the knowledge that I was about to talk about the Beekeeper. And now I guarantee you, when we're done here, I'm not going to be able to fall asleep. I'm too excited about the Beekeeper.
I'm looking at this.
It's 2:38 in the morning right now. I'm not sleeping tonight.
I'm looking at this wheel and I like our odds here. I like the odds of us seeing a banger of a movie.
Yeah. Anything you'd like the wheel to land on?
Anything but the double feature. I'd like anything but the double feature.
All right. Well, let's find out. Oh, it's Wanted.
Not what I thought we were gonna get, but I like Wanted.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to this. I haven't seen this in maybe 10 years.
When did this come? This was a 2006 movie, right? Yeah, 2008.
2008.
So hey, you know what? This came out right at the height of the housing crisis. Everyone was really at odds. Is Wanted the one where he bashes in Chris Pratt's face with a keyboard?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so we got some James McAvoy, we got some Angelina Jolie, Morgan Freeman, Christopher Pratt.
Curved bullets.
And this is on Max. It's streaming on Max here in the States. So hop to it.
Nice. Where is it streaming in Canada? The 51st state. Oh, it's on Amazon Prime and Netflix. Excellent.
Look at that. So if you are watching along, you're good. You're good. You just gotta
Yeah.
hop on. I would hate for it, like, because we record these weeks out. I would hate for like someone to listen to this and be like, "Oh, it's no like it got taken off of the things we said. It's no longer
Oh,
streaming."
that's true. That could happen.
So hey, if that's happened at all, sorry.
Yeah, we apologize. We do not control the streaming algorithms.
Sorry, standees. We didn't mean it.
Yeah, we apologize,
What-
standees. We love you. We love all our standees.
So I'm going through. The guy who directed this hasn't really done too much. Well, he's done a bunch of stuff, but nothing that really like, wow, like he did that. Oh my
Russian
goodness.
guy.
And then, oh wow, I'm looking at the first writer listed on here. Wow, wow, wow. Writing credits include Too Fast, Too Furious. This is Michael Brandt. Too Fast, Too Furious. Catch That Kid. The 310 to Yuma remake.
Oh,
Wanted.
I like that movie.
The Double, Overdrive, and Arthur the King. I didn't know. Too Fast, Too Furious is like one of my favorite movies.
Is
One
it
of my
really?
favorite one of my favorite Fast and Furious movies, just because of the ejectocito. Cause
I like when he drives while looking at her instead of looking at the road.
oh yeah, it's a good.
It's a good
Like,
dumb movie.
I can't believe there's an alternate universe where. There's an alternate universe where Vin Diesel never came back to the Fast and Furious movies, and we just stopped after Tokyo Drift.
I really like that 310 to Yuma remake.
I saw it a long time ago. I don't. Oh yeah, it's got Crow and Bale in it.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it's
that was
good.
really good.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to this because I remember liking this movie when
You
I
know what?
saw it however many years ago. I mean, it's got curved bullets. Like, it can't be that bad, right?
If It Follows has taught me anything, it's not to. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go in with my expectations just set at a medium spot.
Well,
And then
the difference between me and this movie and you and It Follows is your memory of It Follows is like really, really good, and my memory of this movie is I'm pretty sure I liked it.
yeah, this is when we still got like those original IP action movies. This was like around the same time as Looper was a few years later, but Jumper was another one that's actually on the Son of the Wheel.
Well, this actually isn't original. It's based on a comic book.
Oh, is it? God damn it! It's always a fucking comic book.
You know
But
what?
now I want to read it.
I kind of want to replay the video game too. That's a good game.
A good game. It's one of those few. It's one of those few properties that got a really good game.
Yeah, it's a good game. I still own it on my PS3, and my PS3 is still hooked up. I'm gonna play this
Holy
game.
shit. I'm really surprised that no one has like taken the concept of the bullet curving for video games and just ran with it.
Yeah, because you bullet curve in this game. I'm gonna play this game. No,
Ah man, this
I don't know
is.
if I have time. I'm playing
I might-
Metaphor. I wanna play it though.
Yeah, you don't have time. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, you're not
yeah.
gonna have time.
I kind of want to play it though. It's a good game. We're doing the movie. Now's the perfect time to replay this. I think it's pretty short. Could probably fit it in there, maybe.
How long is this movie, by the way? 110 minutes. Look at that.
Look at that. Just
Look
under
at
2
that.
hours.
Just under 2 hours.
How long is this game? How long to beat? My favorite website. Wanted. This game is apparently 5 hours. Oh, I can play this in a day.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
I love
Remember
that.
when you could beat?
I love
remember when
that.
you could beat a game in a day?
Yeah, oh my god, the perfect video game length is one that you can beat in a weekend.
Like, give me like the limbos and the insides of the world where you can beat it in one sitting, or you can like piecemeal it out.
Yeah.
Just a handful of hours. I don't need a big fucking to-do list. I don't need a bunch of icons on a map saying, "Hey, go talk to Big Smoke over there. He's got a mission for you."
I just played Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and that game I was worried when I started it because it turns out like, oh, you're in this big like kind of open area, like big explorable area. I was like, oh no, is this gonna be one of those games? But I beat it in like a week and a half, and I was like, oh, this is a great length because it's like there's there's stuff to explore and secrets to find, but like it's pretty streamlined and quick. Like this, it's perfect.
Games need to.
I wish
games
games
need
were
to
like
get
that
back to-
again.
Games need to get back to emulating a little closer to movies where like, okay, we've only got them for so much time. We need to get in and get out.
Yeah.
Instead of, how do we make them play for 10,000 hours?
I don't need to ride in a canoe with Atreus for 3 hours going
No.
from place to place. Okay, I don't. But yeah, if you miss those kinds of tight experiences, that Indiana Jones game is very good.
I've played the opening, which I realized was just a 1-for-1 recreation of that first scene in what is that? The Temple of Doom? Raiders and
Yeah.
Raiders.
You know what? It's a great onboarding tutorial. Just replay that sequence.
Really good.
Yeah, but the game itself
then
is very good.
play it, watch the movie, and then like hop on YouTube and look at one of the comparisons someone put up of like the game and that scene side by side. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a good game. Yeah, but I remember when I passed that section and I got to the first like open area, because the first open area is like the Vatican, and like it's like this big map, and you're like, oh, it's this big map I got to explore. I was like, ugh, it's gonna be one of these games. Then it turned out it wasn't. It was one of the good ones that you can finish in a nice, timely manner.
Can you aim down the sights in that game? Like, do they like the hard aim, like
No.
when you have a gun?
No.
Good. I love that. I've started playing Half-Life and Half-Life 2 again. And I was like, oh man, we really, you know what? Aiming down the sights has really ruined shooters for me. I just need to have the gun to my side. Just let me shoot it. I don't need to aim.
Yeah, I
I'll
mean,
aim with the stick.
I think it depends on the game for me. I don't mind it. Well, the thing with Indiana Jones is you're mostly not going to be using guns anyway. You're going to be smacking Nazis in the face with anything you can find.
Which is as you do.
Yeah, but you can use guns.
Yeah, they're very spare, right? Kind of like in the movie.
Yeah. There's a little more guns towards the end of the game. Like there's more enemies with guns, but it's still like you don't really want to be getting into firefights.
Yeah, because you're gonna get gunned down. It's kind of like well, not the Lara Croft games because she gets in firefights left and right. What are the other games they make? The sneaky games that are like steampunk.
Dishonored?
Yeah, kind of like Dishonored. You don't want to get into like a big gun. Dishonored has guns, right? I'm remembering this correctly.
They do have,
right?
Yeah, they do.
My memories of like the 2010s are all like fuzzy.
Yeah, it is. It's also late now that we're no longer talking about the Beekeeper. I'm also kind of winding down. Also, this isn't a gaming podcast, so we probably better before we lose our audience.
Make a Beekeeper video game.
They should.
And let me load my gun with bee. Like there was that Metal Gear Solid boss that shot bees at you like they were bullets in his gun.
Yes. Let's
Put
make
that in the sequel.
Make a Beekeeper game, except like God mode is on by default. You're always invincible. You're always gonna win.
You can't die.
Yeah, because you're a beekeeper.
And you get there's a button specifically for badass bee puns.
Yes. Do it. Somebody do it. Amazon, you have a games division? What are you doing?
What are you doing? The guys that you got from that GTA studio aren't making anything. Put them on it.
Okay. I think we should end the podcast because as much as I love the Beekeeper and want to keep talking about it, it is almost 3. It is 10 minutes until 3 in the morning where I am.
We gotta get you out of here before you turn back into a pumpkin.
Yeah. So follow us on Blue Sky. Follow the show. Follow us.
Yeah. Linktree. Go watch Sudden Death. And stay cool. Steve, Standees, and Bees.
Yeah. Leave a review. Doesn't matter what kind of review. Just leave a review. Tell people about the show. Get the word out there. Get it out on the streets.
The mean streets, the easy streets, every street.
Yeah. Protect the hive. Do it for the hive.
Do it for the hive.
Do it for the hive. Anyway, this has been Stand and Watch. And remember, whatever you do, don't tell your mother.